Wow. Welcome along to Tweet Street Occupied Scotland, everyone, or Tweet Street Scotland Occupied. I'm Sin and Bridges, aka Peter. With me as usual, my co-host is JB Whitesnay. All right, John, how you doing, mate?
Not bad, Peter. How's yourself?
I'm good, thanks. Our guest this evening, we have none other than, it's definitely Craig. Craig will do formal introductions in a wee second. The usual format will resume probably just about the new, John. I'll let you do the usual bit, and we'll see who shows up. We'll see who drops in on us. So over to you, John.
No problem. Craig, would you like to tell us about yourself and what your view is of Scottish independence?
Aye. So I'm Craig. What am I? I can't remember. I'm 40 odd, something like that. I don't know. Living in Old Kilpatrick, but living in Old Kilpatrick, been all over Scotland. But yeah, when it comes to my views on Scotland itself, obviously I am very much of the opinion that it should be an independent country in every way. My dad's from England. I've got family down there, so it's not about that side of things. It's about Scotland standing on their own 2 feet. So yeah.
And how do you see things have progressed at the moment, or not?
Yeah, I think obviously after 2014, it was a bit of a big disappointment, really. And yeah, so since then, I felt like momentum slowed down a bit there, then started to shift. Felt fairly positive coming into like the last elections, but then I'm not convinced that since then the right moves have been made. I'm not hearing what I would expect to hear from the people that can actually deliver it. So yeah, I would say I am pessimistic at the moment, but still optimistic on the inside somewhere.
Right, sorry. And what do you think of the latest royal interventions? Prince William's here to save the Union, and the interesting thing for me is there's no denials from the royal side of it. So it's basically them moving the goalposts and tough shit, basically. You know what I mean?
Aye. No, that's it. I think there's that thing where the royals are supposed to stand back. They're not supposed to get involved in politics. I think so. From that point of view, that they're going against that. I don't feel like something like that's ever going to swing me, to be honest. I don't see how a couple of people coming up here and sticking on a tartan dress and trying to look like they're like shortbread tins or something is going to actually make me change.
I think that's one of the most demeaning. It really shows you they've got nothing new to offer. I think wearing a tartan scarf or a skirt in William's case, whatever he's what to do, it really, they think it ingratiates them. I think it just makes them stick out, say, a thumb, like, because nobody wears that crap.
No.
It just shows you how bereft they are of ideas. Right. Sorry, Peter.
That's enough. That's enough of that. Stop talking about their monarchy like that, you know. And sorry, this is Baroness area minion that you can't Scotland news and that. I'm sick of hearing news talking about the masterland down there, the way you do, and talking about our royal family. Anyway, Craig, I believe you've had a wee bit of success on Twitter over the past since that guy that does the show made you famous or something like that. Has he made you famous? How did he do that?
I think he did, right? I think he did. I think he's had a word in the right ears and let the right people see that. But I hadn't really noticed, to be honest. But yeah, the last couple of days that thing's taken off a wee bit. I think, I don't know what it is, like 78,000 or something like that. And aye.
We'll find it later in the show, but it is. We've got a wee thing planned for that. Anyway, thanks very much. I just wanted to say that I thoroughly enjoyed that wee laugh that gave me. Now, we're going to share it later in the show, but if you want to share it with everybody just off the cuff, could you do that?
I possibly could. Yeah, so nothing like being put on the spot, though, is that right? Thanks.
Let's see how I feel having to put makeup on and all that.
I thought you liked that, no?
Well, only in the weekends, aye.
But aye, so actually the joke itself was kind of off the cuff. I was just playing about in my head on the way down a set of stairs, and yeah, people will say to me like, "You're autistic. I mean, does that mean you take everything literally?" And I'm like, "No, that's kleptomaniacs."
Still chuckle when I hear it out loud, even when I say it to myself. Hey, well, I'll push you back on to John. Why don't you go, mate? I need to see what's going on out here.
What's your opinion of the Alba party at present?
I think as an idea, as a party, I think it's a good thing. I think the timing of it was not a good thing, and the division and the sort of anger and yeah, the way it sort of split people at the time that it split people, that to me was not a clever move. I think if they were to launch, say, now, and especially the way the SNP aren't necessarily achieving everything that I would expect them to, I can see that being a good thing. But I think it's been a bit of a mess, really.
Yeah. There was one of their sort of leading lights, McCaskill, was quoted in the Times Scotland, basically saying that home rule might be a suitable alternative to independence. So that realises a kick in the teeth. I mean, if that's not 2 steps backward, how are they trying to differentiate themselves from some in the SNP? If one of their leading lights is, again, if it wasn't misquoted, but I couldn't see it was in the Times of Scotland, that home rule federalism might be an answer to independence, and that's not going to light any new candles for anyone. In my opinion, like, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, the thing for me there is that's taking us back 100 odd years. We're suddenly back there saying, okay, home rule's a good option, and maybe it was then, but it still didn't get delivered then. And no, to still be tied to the union, in inverted commas, no, that's not where I see the future. And you just need to look at the crap that's going on with Boris Johnson and co, and to think that we'd stay tied to that and that they would let us do anything for the good of our country, then no, it's not an option.
Well, they're actually rolling back the devolution with the powers of two. But that's another key thing for me with SNP or anyone else. They're not creating enough stink about these powers that have been taken back. They're sitting back, they're making a good living out of sitting back and doing nothing. And a lot of people that support the SNP, good on them. They've done a lot of good stuff in the past for Scotland, but you can't rely on what they've done in the past. It's the present and the future that matters. So while powers have been stripped back from Scotland, independence is getting taken further away from us, and they're not been proactive in delivering it or chasing it. Peter, would you like to say something?
These all damn Scotland's bolting that you can't Scotland news, the big lie news. I work in conjunction with Baroness area Minion in that, right? They're talking about Alba. That Kenny McCaskill is about home rule, and then he says he was talking to that boy that comes from Spain. There a bar heat in Spain? I don't know. Comes from some like that anyway. But he said he'd work with a rogue Tory if it got him to find out how the judicial system. I should have been paying attention, but it was Scottish, and I don't really pay attention to the Scottish folk, mate, to be honest. Right, I've got more important things today. England were playing at football, and I watched them. I know I'm Scottish and all, but I'm one of the ones. Right? So he heard of the ISP, no internet service provider. It's the Independence for Scotland Party. You heard of them?
No.
No. Maybe you should look them up, Craig, right? Because they're going to be big players, I think, in the up and coming council elections. Who was that man you were talking to last week, John? Was it Julie? She came from Bonko. No, she was running in. No, she wasn't running in Murderston. Aye, Julie McAnulty, and she's in Murderston. She's running for councillor in Murderston. She seemed all right, actually. I know I don't really go on well with Scottish folk, but she seemed all right, and their party seems as if they're the only independence party currently taking independence in Scotland. I heard you saying to John that it came up at the wrong time. When's the right time for a party to launch?
I'd say right now. So so yeah, like coming up the weeks before an election to come in and say, right, we're standing candidates is kind of stupid if you ask me. But to launch after an election when you've got a few years to go and time to actually build on and prove that you can win the people over, I think that's the time.
Right, John, back to you, mate. I'll give me important to be doing.
And by this time next week, we'll have yet another unionist news channel on the air, GB News. What's your thoughts on that, Cumlo? I mean, you think how septic Sky News and BBC News are to Scotland. It's just going to be another voice in the same room, echo chamber, shouting Scotland bad, Scotland shut up, Scotland get back in your box. I take it to be down to tune in and watch it.
I can't wait. Can't wait. I mean, I love Andrew Neil. He's a barrel of laughs, that guy. but it's like you say, though, it is. It's an echo chamber. They're just diluting a market that they've already cornered. It's not like I'm going to sit and listen to their crap because I've already heard enough of it. And no, but it is. It's like it's the last gasp attempt to try and, I don't know if they're trying to make themselves feel better, if they're trying to like please the Tory funds or the people that are funding the Tories at the minute. I don't know what it is, but it's crap. I mean, especially what he's going to be coming from France first.
I stuck in France. How ironic he's stuck in France. Eh?
Aye.
And
So,
you look at they're currently running a spiel on the channel. It's already listed on the Sky platform, and there's currently a spiel running with all these people who are going to be representing GB News, and it's all the same old faces that have been in BBC, Sky, Telegraph journalists, and so they're just giving the straight outside of the bottom of the barrel and giving them a platform when they're already given a platform BBC, ITV, Sky, and everywhere else. So it's nothing new. It's just a different set with the same old faces, giving you a Tory bent view of the world. Europe's bad, Scotland's bad, and can bring back the empire basically. And it gets worse and worse. And I don't think it does them any favours, to be honest with you. I really don't think it does help their cause, thankfully. I think it's very poor.
Aye, no, it's like a shite Fox News.
I actually quite miss Fox because I was fascinated by how they delivered it. All these different characters. It was more character-driven Fox News. It was the opinion, and that's the way that GB News is going. You're getting all these characters that have some of them got a reputation, and they're giving their interpretation of the news. And that's again, it's more Americanism of Fox News. That's how it's going. And maybe Murdoch's involved in it somewhere, and it's all offshore people who are financing this charade.
This is Fury's travelling Gypsy Fist King here. Just jumped out the ring to have a wee word with you in that because I admire your humour, so I do. Lighting up the darkest days for a lot of people, Craig. This is just a wee message to say, I appreciate what you do. I know you're on Twitter every day, sharing pictures, sharing wee funny things. There was a tree zone that just shared not that long ago. Take it back in here in a wee minute. I'm out of puff. All these costume changes. There's a tree shared with three conservatives. That's it. 3 conservatives. Aye.
That's
conservatives. Which really tickled me. Thanks very much. And by the way, Josh Triple T Taylor, if you're out there, I'm challenging you. You think you're the best in Scotland? Yeah, right, but I'll challenge you, right? Independence for Scotland, right? John, back to you.
What's your opinion of Nicola Sturgeon at the present time?
I think right woman in the right place for, especially over the last year and a half. So that I think that the job that she's done, especially when you focus purely on pandemic, at least, that she's been strong. She's done a lot of things that I can't imagine being in that position. And yeah, she's kind of stuck it to Boris Johnson that a few times as well, which I appreciate. But yeah, again, now I feel like hopefully we're coming to the end of this, and it's for all the Tories might say it's not the time. It's definitely the time to start thinking about the future and how we build from here. So yeah, I feel like she needs to keep that momentum going. Obviously, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes and what the plans are. However, there needs to be more of a signal to the population to say, look, this is the way we're heading. This is the way we want to take you, and we want you to come with us. So yeah, I would say fantastic job to hear. And it's let's get the flags waving and start the bugles, I think.
Yeah, I certainly think that's what they need to sort of really rally the troops a bit and put some meat in the bones, give us some sort of hope. And there's a lot of people who don't want to wait or can't afford to wait 3-4 years on an independence referendum. And I think if you wait that long, Westminster's going to legislate to stop it. You're giving them too much time. You're giving them all the leeway in the world and all the power in the world. Well, they're taking powers away and boxing us in. We're sitting twiddling our thumbs. So, and it would be good for the SNP and Alba and anyone else who's involved to get their head together and say, right, let's deliver this for Scotland. And there would be a massive groundswell of support if they could only do that. If they only over their own political issues that they've got and ideologies and really deliver for the Scottish people. Peter, would you like to say something?
Aye. So I don't know who visited you there, guys. The 77th Brigade's been really tuning in on us for some reason. I don't know why. But I've managed to get back on as myself and get this on the background there. So I'm going to just lift up so that the viewers can see. Now, it's quite a big number, mate. You've got a big number appearing there. Now, that was lifted at 20 to 7 just before.
Oh.
The show. What I'll do is just as comparison, I'll do a wee screen share and I'll go to your page now and we'll see what it's sitting at right at this minute. How do I do that again? That one there. Oh no, that's the paint. That's paint. It's this one here. And share that. And there's a way to do this. I just don't know how to do it quickly because I'm a bit of a technophobe, Craig, if I'm perfectly honest.
Nothing wrong with that, mate.
I couldn't use this. I couldn't use this. What do you call it? This laptop until about the 7th of March this year was when I started using this. So see everything that you're seeing in the background. I need to give thanks to like my stepson who helped me to do it initially. Everything that you see in the background is new. The things that I've learned. I'm like, away with a new toy with this thing now. It's like, I can do this. I can do that now. Right, so I've waffled enough. So let's have a wee look at this page here. Which I need to move the picture out of the road. Shut that down. It's that wee arrow there. So you're at 9.1k and 78.3k for likes, 272 comments on your pinned tweet. As I believe the Baroness was talking to you, and as she alluded to, we booked you before you were famous, mate. We booked you before you were famous.
Peter, did you tell me he's not getting paid?
I think everybody that knows that the podcast that we do, it's a wee bit of fun in dark times.
Absolutely.
And echoing the message, because I believe Furious dropped in on you. Furious is a good guy, by the way. Furious is one of us. I mean, he wants independence for Scotland as well. But I just wanted to say that I appreciate your humour. There was one, I don't know, John, this might be news to you as well. I'm going to stop sharing now, right? Because we've seen what this is and we'll focus on the background. There was one, Craig, that you posted. It might have been over a week ago now. And I'm sure I messaged you like, about 45 minutes after you posted it. I seen it as soon as you posted it because like you can set up things on Twitter that you get alerts with certain people post things and stuff like that. You're one of the ones that I've got, right? So, and it's because, not because you're autistic, but I read people's bios and I see the fact that I don't know enough about autism. I don't know. So it was initially that attracted me, and how your humour, you always seem to be trying to crack a wee joke. And for me, I see myself as a wee bit like that as well, try to be a wee bit sarcastic with things, right? But the one that I appreciate the most, even more than that one there that's on the background, was somebody asked about a song title that had something to do with liquid or something in it, right?
Yeah.
And Craig's response was, "My granny's feather bed" by John Denver, right? Now, I like to think I'm quite sharp and I get these things as soon as I see them. However, I was standing in the kitchen 45 minutes later and I went, "Ha ha!" And I ran through to get my phone to say to you, "Oh, a slow burner, mate. That was a slow burner for me. 45-minute delay, but it was oh." So wee things like that I appreciate. And the John and I, when we were setting up this Tweet Street, we spoke offline about what's different, what can we do that's no focusing on all the serious side of politics, but rather taking the piss out of it and try to make folk laugh about it. So I look at your page and that gives me a good start for the day. As soon as it's first time in the morning, I see what you've posted. Usually there's visuals, which I'll share another one in a wee minute. There's usually visuals, and I contacted you when you shared a picture where you were walking along the walkway at the Clyde, and I put Andy Murray in and a tennis, as if he was swinging the tennis bat with half the bridge. It was a lovely picture, and I thought I could do something with it, and I asked your permission. You said aye. And then there's been other pictures, and again we'll talk about that in a wee second. Have you always taken pictures? Have you always been a kind of a keen photographer, but sharing a joke with it, or is it just something new?
It's fairly new. Like the last few years, I've sort of focused a lot on, I don't know, appreciating what's around me, and so yeah, so like that, those photos are my walk to work quite often, and we walk along the Clyde, and you see it looks different every time you're there. So yeah, I started taking photos of that, and at one point I used to take it. Like that. I used to take that guy there puzzled the hell out of me, by the way. But aye.
For anybody that can't see, there's a car parked on the walkway. And Craig shared this picture, and at first I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, that's a lovely picture. I didn't notice the car. And it was your comment that made me kind of look a wee bit closer. And I was baffled. I'm like, it's the walkway. It says it in its name, it's a walkway. And the guy parked his car there. Did you smile at him or wave at him when you went past or say anything?
He had the decency to look a wee bit awkward, to be honest. So I'm not quite sure. But I mean, that spot, he had to do a decent amount of manoeuvring to get into it. So I don't know what the hell he was up to.
Well, I was kind of thinking that myself. It must have been really awkward to get into that position. And just to kind of complete the visuals that we spoke about a wee bit earlier, this was the original one that you had posted. Well, without Andy Murray and the Bruce, and the tennis racket and the ball. Again, I'll do. I
love that. I love that one.
And it was just a wee kind of it was so clear, the water was so still, and I thought, oh, that's nice. Oh, that looks like the head of a tennis racket. Oh, and I got my wee childish brain ticking. Like, how can I celebrate Scotland with that? Andy Murray. Oh, aye. I know he's a surf, right? But which kind of grates on me a wee bit. But anyway, I thought put him in. He's a famous Scottish person that plays tennis. And you'll see, I'll put your wee tweet on the back. That only had like 9,000 when I copied that initially, that one. Sorry, no 9,000. It only had 1,000, sorry, 1,009, I think. See, this is the downfall that I've got. I can't actually read backwards when I'm looking. This is set up backwards for me. So and at one point I actually turned around when I was doing this before to look to see what right. But that was what initiated my following you. It was that picture, and I'm like, oh. And when I read your bio, it was, as I said before, it interested me. And when you read through the same, John does posters all the time, and this is how I started, without being a stalker, but started following John. It was his pictures. I wasn't in the best of places, and John's pictures and posters kind of if I had the talent today, what he was doing, I would have said what he was saying, and on the pictures it was saying them, right? And it kind of lifted me a wee bit, and Tweet Street was born as a result of that. So when I seen yours again, it just accentuated the fact that, well, there's other people out there trying to laugh about things while everything seems to be serious. So it's a kind of it's a big up to yourself. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm sure if I didn't, I meant to, right? So I'm qualifying this already just in case I haven't. I think I said to you, on one of your posts, that it's a big up to people that might have shit going on themselves. However, they'll try and do whatever they can to put a smile on somebody's faces.
Aye.
And that's what I get off pretty much every one of your tweets. And if it was just the picture itself without the comment, I would get it for the picture because I like the visuals and things like that. People going about, always like to look at parts of Scotland in different angles that people see, because you're not always there to capture a moment, you know, but you feel as if you're sharing a moment with somebody. But when you put the words to it as well, when you put your wee sarcastic comments and stuff like that, it just makes that picture grow for me. So in behalf of myself and anybody else who appreciates that, and I know that there's other people, because you seem to get a lot of likes and retweets. I know I joked about making you famous, but you were already famous for the tweets that you done before I'd booked you for the show, before we spoke about getting you on the show. So it's a big up to you, mate, and like take that as a kind of especially with the way things are at the moment in the middle of the pandemic, that you've got people that come to your page to get that wee lift. So it's a cheers for me more than anything else. Cheers for keeping on doing it. And also, I've said this to John before, but cheers to you as well, John. It's like, goes without saying, mate. Yours are mere politically satire, which I can never get as well. It's like, oh, aye, because we like to bash the Tories. We like to give the Tories a wee bit of bashing. And the person that I seen that from more than anybody was JB. So it's it's an appreciation society. We're pro-independence here. We want Scottish independence, and we get anybody on the show that's independent thinking, or that's got that something that makes you want to go, look at these ones, look where they're being, right? This guy here is going out every day and putting a smile on people's faces by just a picture and a comment. So that's a massive congratulations for me. John, I'm going to let Craig speak for a wee minute and see if there's anything you want to say. So tuck in, mate.
No, carry on, Craig, on you.
Yeah, thanks. No, for me though, that's what it's about. I mean, it is a tough time. It's tough for everyone. It's been especially tough for some. And yeah, I've lost a couple of friends during the last few while. And but what means the most to me out of all of this is like comments like that. So yeah, I can't really reply to that properly because I'm blown away. But that's at 78,000 likes. I honestly don't give a shit about that. That it's the one or two people that are sitting and life's crap and they can't raise their head, never mind anything else, and then to think that hopefully I've made somebody smile, even just one person. That's what matters to me. I mean, Twitter, Facebook, it's all pish in the end, isn't it? But but just being able to reach out, to be able to make contact with people. And I hated Twitter when I first started. It was you come on, you say something, someone has a go at you, and you think, fuck this. So I've now blocked like 1,000 people or something, and it's a wee bit better. So, but yeah, for me that's it. I go on every day. I post something stupid. I'll maybe have a wee serious moment here and there, but the biggest thing is knowing that I've made somebody smile. That's what it's all about. So no, thank you.
Well, you're definitely my cup of tea, mate. So you're definitely my cup of tea. I'm going to say a wee special shout out to Fee. You know who Fee is, Craig. She seconded my calls to get you onto the show, and I know that she's dealing with her own stuff at the minute. So this is a special shout out to you, Fee. We're thinking of you, pal. All right. John, I'll give you a couple of minutes to speak and see if you've got anything you want to say, because we're coming to. I'm sad that we're coming to the end of this show. Normally I'm like, oh, I want to get to the end so I can get it edited, but I'm sad because it's a wee bit of like it's went in too quick for my liking. I've not had enough chance to kind of converse with you. But that leaves it open for maybe another appearance where you can take that guitar down off the wall and blast it. Too late, mate. Too late. Right, John, I'll let you say for the next couple of minutes.
Well, no, I think people like Craig plays a vital part as well, because it's important that we're trying to keep Scottish independence, keep it current when there's nothing happening. So if you can do it by having a laugh and a carry on, and I can be quite serious about it a lot of times, but shouldn't you be? But we need to keep people interested in it, and if we can do it in humour, satire, whatever, have it just take an absolute rip. All power to everyone involved, because it keeps it in the psyche and it keeps people interested, and that's vital to try and push us towards independence.
I second that. Craig, final word to you, mate.
Aye, bring it on. That's what I say. Let's get it done.
Right. Well, guys, as I say, I'm genuinely sad that we're at the end of the show, because there was so much more that I could have said. I've got other images that I'll be adding into the edit, Craig. And as I usually do, you'll be the first one that gets to see it. I'll send you the link before it gets released. And if there's anything that you'll not want in it, get back in touch with me straight away and I'll edit it so that it's not in it. All right?
Awesome, mate. Appreciate that.
No, the appreciation's all for your side to yourself, mate. Thanks very much for agreeing to guest on our show. A wee message to the camera here. We've got a couple of things coming up. Well, as you see, I'm wearing the Scotland top. We've got the Euros starting. Scotland won again. You know what I mean?
Did they?
They won 1-0 against 10 men, right? But it's the last friendly game before the competition starts. So good luck to Scotland in the competition. John, I'm surprising you with this, because we are going to be trying to do a podcast each day that Scotland play. Now, I'm aware that each of us have got our own things going on. So it may be both, or it may be just myself doing a wee kind of a couple of comedy sketches, or attempting comedy sketches, so that people can have a wee laugh at it before we go and qualify for the knockout stages of our first major tournament in Scotland.
How much is a Scotland top nowadays?
I didn't get any change from £130.
Yeah,
and that was for two tops. That was for two tops.
The last Scotland top I had was for Argentina.
Aye. Well, that was the year that
That was a classic one.
that was the year that we scored our most memorable goal, and
That's right.
our worst ever performance. Like,
Wee Gemmell's
his
goal,
expectation.
remember?
Aye, Archie Gemmell, yes, where he dribbled
Jesus.
through. Still gets replayed to this day.
I love it.
So it's thanks very much from Tweet Street Scotland Occupied, from Tweet Street Occupied Scotland. Subscribe to our Twitter page at Tweet Street Oc1. Email us at tweetstreetscotland13@gmail.com. Visit our YouTube channel. Subscribe to it for regular updates. It's Tweet Street Occupied Scotland. It's thanks very much for me, Cinnamon Bridges, from JB Whitesnake, and from our good friend, or hope to be our good friend for the future, Craig. So good night, everyone.
Bye.
Right, well.